For my life, I have never seen a situation where a man will marry the whole daughter, your own daughter that you give birth to, your own pikin, like as in your pikin. I have never seen. Imagine the pikin, the daughter you have given out for adoption. After so many years of giving this girl out for adoption, you now want to reunite with the girl for the sole purpose of getting married to the girl and getting her pregnant. I can't understand it.
Photo, not be juju be that.
Brother, this one part juju. In 1995, this particular guy from North Carolina, his name is Steven Pladl from North Carolina. Pladl was just 20 years old at that time in 1995. He went online to go and be searching for this online dating. He went to search, just like some of you have downloaded different online dating apps where you meet people. He went online to go and search for love online. And inside that process of searching for love, he now met a very fine young lady named Alyssa Garcias. Now, the problem is that Alyssa Garcias was just an underage girl. She was just 15 years old as at that time. And you know that an underage girl cannot consent to anything. In fact, it is even criminal and illegal for you to have any romantic affair with a 15 years old child because she's still considered a minor. But this Steven was 20 years old as an adult, so he can be charged and sent to prison to go and cool off because of that. Anyway, he was able to deceive this 15 years old girl. And you know that the worst set of people to advise is a girl who is in love. No matter what you tell a girl who is in love, anything you say to one of her ear, it will jump out to the other ear and jump out. There's nothing that goes in here. This 15 years old girl, Alyssa Garcia, left her parents' house, left wherever she was, and moved in with Steven. In 1998, barely when this girl was just 17 years old, Alyssa Garcia was just 17 years old, she had a child for this Steven. Still underage, but she had a child for Steven. And they named that baby Denise, a baby girl. But the problem is that Steven is a monster. You must have known that for somebody to even gain interest in an underage girl, something must be wrong with the person. So this Steven is a monster, and he kept abusing this girl, Alyssa Garcia. And not even that, he even extended that abuse to the newborn baby they just had, baby Denise. He was abusing that child, and it was just too much because every time the mother could not help it. And so because of that, the mother realized, Alyssa Garcia knew that, if I continue leaving this child in this house, this child will not live to see her next 1 year birthday. I better give this child out for adoption because this is not a safe space to raise this child. That was how somehow she was able to convince Steven to give this baby Denise out for adoption. So they gave baby Denise out for adoption. Now, the people who adopted baby Denise were this couple in New York City. Their name is Anthony and Kelly Fusco. They were the one that adopted baby Denise. When they adopted baby Denise, they changed her name from Denise to Katie. She was now known as Katie, living a normal life away from the biological parents. While she was being adopted, they also had other kids, Alyssa Garcia and Steven. They had other kids as well. Now, in 2016, when Katie, the adopted child now, when she was now of age, like she was now 18 years old, she started looking online. She started searching for answers to her biological parents. She wanted to know them. You know how these adopted kids are curious to know their biological parents? This girl was curious. Her curiosity took her online to go and be searching for who her biological parents were. And that was how Katie was able to find Steven, her biological father, online on Facebook. And after being reunited together, that same year of 2016, August, when Katie was supposed to go to college, supposed to be in college, she just told her adopted parents that she wants to go and live with her biological parents. Because she's 18 years old, the adopted parents cannot do anything about it. If she wants to go Jupiter or anywhere, they cannot do anything about it. So they allow her to go. So she went ahead to go and spend time with the biological parent, which is Steven and Alyssa Garcia. You understand? They stayed there. So while they were in that house, when she just came and moved to the house, the mother, out of the love that she had for this child, called her to secret and say, hey, baby, this thing where you won't come do so, this thing you're about to do to come and reunite, I know you want to create a bond with your biological father, but please, this is not a safe space. In fact, this guy is so abusive. He is the reason why we have to even give you out for adoption, because that was not our original plan. But because he was abusing you even as a child, we had to let you go and give you out for adoption. So please, you cannot stay here. You have to go back to your adopted parents' house and live there in peace. But you know now, this girl, she's stubborn. I wouldn't blame her. She really wanted to create a bond between herself and her biological parents. But few months down the line, after she moved into the house, the marriage between her parents, her biological parents, which is Steven and Alyssa Garcia, it caused scatter. Now, when it went south, Alyssa Garcia, who is her biological mother, had to move out of the house alongside with other kids that she had for this man. So she moved out of that house, leaving her husband, Steven, and her daughter, biological daughter, Katie, in the same house. Now, when they were away, after some few months down the line, she was just reading through a journal that one of her baby was just looking at. She looked at the journal. She saw a picture of a pregnant woman, a picture of Katie being pregnant, an artwork of a pregnant woman. And when she looked at the face looked like her biological daughter, Katie, whom she left with Steven at home when she moved out of the house. And then she now saw a note. The note was now telling the kids that was reading that journal that she should stop addressing Katie as their sister. Instead, she should be addressing her as their stepmother. That thing can't spark the woman's brain. Because of that, she took a phone call and called Steven. She wanted to know if what she's reading is really true about everything. She called Steven, and behold, Steven confirmed it. They are now planning to have a child together. Anybody who is mentally okay, that will not be okay for them to hear. So that your own daughter is getting married to her own biological father. That is very abominable. So she called the police immediately and said, hey, this is what is happening. And then police step in. They put Steven under investigation. They were investigating him secretly. While he was being investigated, in July of the same year, 2017, Steven took this girl, Katie, his own biological daughter, to Maryland to go and wed this girl officially to become his official wife. Imagine, from daughter to your wife. When they got there, they will normally ask people if this person is related to you, because they know that incest is a big offense. You cannot marry your relative, your brother, your sisters, or anybody related to you for that matter, or even your own kids. You can't do that. That's an incest. That's against the law. So they asked Steven if this person you are planning to get married to, I don't know the juju he did to this girl that she could not even resist such a thing. But anyhow, Steven lied and said, oh no, we are not related at all. So that was how they were able to grant them the marriage, whatever. They allowed them to proceed with the marriage. But what was even more heartbroken is the fact that this Katie now, who is about to get married to her own biological father, her adopted parents came to the wedding. They were there. It's not because they loved what was going on or they were not angered by what was going on, but because she's still their adopted child and they love her so much. They wanted to show her support that, hey, no matter what, we're still there for you. But they watched that wedding ceremony smiling outwardly, but inwardly they were not happy. They were not okay with what was going on. 2 months after, which is September 2017, Katie gave birth to a baby boy for her own father, Steven. And they gave that child, they gave the baby name Baby Bennett. Baby Bennett now is now both son and grandson to one man, which is Steven. In January 2018 now, the police now went to go and arrest both of them, both the Katie and her biological father, Steven, and arrested them for incest. And they charged them to court, but they were released on bond. They let them go, but they issued a statement that they should never be seen near each other again. And at this time, after this court judgment, it seems like the juju that Steven did to this Katie's head has now gone out of her head, and her brain has now come back to her normal sense now. She now traveled back to her adopted parents' house in New York, and then left her child for Steven's mother. Steven's mother was taking care of baby Bennett. When she got to New York at the adopted parents' house, she picked up the phone and called Steven and said, Daddy, this thing, I can't do it again. This is abomination. My sense have come back to my sense now. I cannot continue this type of relationship. That did not sit down well with Steven. Steven was very angry. So one day, Steven went to go and take his child from the mother and say, I want to take the child for strolling, for outside. I just want the child to take fresh breeze. And I'm going to call Katie, on video call, and call Alice on video call so that they can see the child and all of that. But the mother did not know that Steven had other plans. Immediately, she handed that child to him. That was the last time baby Bennett was ever seen alive. Later on, they saw the child unalive, kicked the bucket already. The adopted parents, one day, they were going to run an, what do you call it? They were going to run a family errand somewhere. They were going to run family errands. So Stephen drove all the way from where he was and went to go and hide and waited for them to pull out of their parking lot. Once they pull out, he just followed them, drove them. And then somewhere in interception, this Stephen pull out a gun and fire at these adopted parents. Katie was there. These adopted parents were there. That was how he opened fire on them. Ended up buying Katie and buying Anthony, which is the adopted father of the adopted father of Katie. He bought them, and then after that, he now by himself. But before he did that, he called his mother that he is the one responsible for the demise of his own baby Bennett, and also is going to buy these other people too, the adopted parents and the Katie, for refusing to continue marriage with him.
Another story.